Hello everyone, you're listening to The Right Side of Gaming. Today we're going to go over the March 26th patch notes. So they again tried to make some improvements to client and server stability, which I appreciate. I got kicked off once yesterday instead of twice like I was before, so that's an improvement. They've also changed it so that zone chat is only your instance rather than all instances. On the one hand, this does mean there's going to be a lot less conversation in game because you're only going to be talking with potentially up to 5 other people. Let's be honest, a lot of people in game tend to be kind of quiet. Instead of an entire region's worth, which would have been appreciated. Though to be fair, that also means you don't have to deal with an entire region's worth of trolls, and instead you just have to hope you don't get 1 in your 5. They've also made a few changes to equipment. The Attire of Benevolence core mod has been set to trigger at 25% instead of 100% whenever you get healed, which makes sense because everything else is just a chance instead of something that's always going to happen. And there's a lot of healing effects. If you're playing white, you can pretty much always have one in your hand if you do it right. I mean, it's pretty easy to keep those heals up. You also have the Scholar's Boots. Their core mod has been reduced from a 10-second duration to a 5-second duration. So if you're using either one of those in your setup, you might want to go back, take a look, make sure you know the changes, and see if it still plays the way you want it to, and just note that one is not going to be as often and the other one's not going to be for as long. In the store, they had to do some changes to the battle pass. I guess they put in stuff that wasn't supposed to be there on accident and they had to swap it out. So they had the Dawnbringer's armor and Raw Zarek's vestment. They've changed Dawnbringer's to Benalar's Ceremonial and Raw Zarek's to the Izzet League Adept. So they're both going to be kind of similar. One is a white armor for a white armor. One's a red-blue armor for a red-blue armor. They also said they were going to credit the accounts of people that already bought the Battle Pass 1000 Zen, which I believe is the cost of the basic Battle Pass. Basically, if you bought the Battle Pass thinking you were going to get it, or if there's a chance you did, they're just going to refund that to you. Finally, they changed how Confuse works. They fixed an issue where enemies were treating Confuse like Charmed and weren't able to attack whoever confused them. So if you confuse a creature, it's still able to attack you. They fixed an issue where it wasn't properly being resisted when a target was immune, so I guess you were able to confuse things that were immune to confusion, and that's no longer going to be the case. And finally, if you do more than 25% of a target's max health and damage while it's confused, that's going to break the confusion. So if you do too much damage, it will stop being confused and will go back to acting normally. They also temporarily removed the Mythic Spell pages and World Enchantments from being able to be bought on the broker because there were some pricing issues. I noticed a couple days ago when I looked, some of those Mythic pages were actually cheaper than some of the rare ones, and I'm not entirely sure that was intentional. I mean, I can understand, there not being as big of a supply yet because not a lot of people will have gotten, the Mythic and spells, and may not be as much demand because again, not as many people would have them, and you have to already unlock it to be able to buy them. But even then, I figure those are going to be ones that are going to be in high demand, and they set the floor and the ceiling themselves. So I would assume those would still be higher than some of the lower rarities. It just hasn't been driven up or down within that floor to ceiling yet. And as it turns out, they've turned those back on, so you can buy and sell those from the broker again. So I guess they got their prices sorted out. Finally, if you'll remember back during the alpha, there was a lot of feedback and they made changes such as the equipment system. Originally, there wasn't going to be an equipment system, and they're like, hey, a lot of people want equipment, so we're going to add that in. Well, it looks like they're going to be making some more changes. They're saying that they've been getting a lot of feedback from Discord, Reddit, other social media or social channels. And they're going to be making some changes based on that. I'm not entirely sure I trust Discord or Reddit to be the ones directing the game for me, but that's, I guess, a matter of preference and how much you trust and agree with people on those platforms. But it looks like they are, at the very least, listening to community feedback. So if you do, have some type of criticism or thoughts on the game, you should probably find a way to communicate that to them. And we'll be hearing later today, actually, on the 27th, what they are going to be changing up. So hopefully I'll have that for you guys on the 28th. That's all I had for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you'd like to leave a like, comment, subscribe, that'd be great. If not, that's okay too. Either way, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will catch you next time.